Comparative adjectives compare things or people. This is a comparison between two nouns, so we compare one with the other. For example, this apple is bigger than that apple. Notice that the adjective ends in er and is followed by than. Bigger than. Superlative adjectives compare one thing or person with all other things or people in the group. Therefore, it's a comparison of a noun with other nouns in a group. For example, this apple is the biggest. Notice that we use the article the followed by the adjective ending in est. There are several rules that we need to follow when forming comparative adjectives or superlative adjectives. These depend on the letter in the word or the number of syllables. For one-syllable adjectives, the rule is to add er when forming the comparative adjective and est when forming the superlative adjective. For example, strong. The comparative adjective is stronger. So we add er to the end, and the superlative adjective is strongest. We add est to the end. For adjectives with a consonant short vowel consonant spelling, the final letter is doubled before adding the ending. For example, big. The comparative adjective would be bigger. So we've doubled the final letter G and add the ending er. The superlative adjective is biggest. Again, we double the final letter and add the ending est. For one-syllable adjectives ending in the letter e, we remove the letter e and add the endings er or est. For example, large. The comparative adjective is larger. The superlative adjective is largest. For two-syllable adjectives ending in the letter y, we remove the letter y and add the letter I before the ending. For example, happy. The comparative adjective is happier. So as you can see, we've replaced the letter y with the letter I and added the ending er. Again, I've replaced the letter y with the letter I and added est, happiest. For adjectives with two syllables, there are two ways in which we can form the comparative or superlative adjective. When forming the comparative, we can put the word more before the adjective. However, in some cases, we can just add er to the end, depending on the adjective. For example, gentle. The comparative adjective is gentler or more gentle. So, both are correct to use. When forming the superlative adjective, we can put the word most before the adjective. However, in some cases, we can just add the ending est. For example, gentle becomes gentlest or most gentle. This may sound confusing. However, if you're unsure of which form to use, the safer option is just to add more or most before the adjective. For adjectives with 3 or more syllables, we can form the comparative by inserting more before the adjective. For example, expensive becomes more expensive. A common mistake is to add er, expensiver. However, this is incorrect. We say more expensive. When forming the superlative adjective, we insert most before the adjective. Most expensive. Lastly, there are some irregular forms which don't follow the rules. For example, good becomes better, best. Little, less, least. Now let's go through each rule with example sentences. For one-syllable adjectives, the rule is to add er when forming the comparative and est when forming the superlative adjective. For example, Adam is stronger than Sam. Here, I'm comparing two people. Kelly is the strongest. Here, I'm comparing one person with a group of people. It's important to remember that we always use than after the comparative adjective because we're comparing two people. The article the is always used before the superlative adjective. For adjectives with a consonant short vowel consonant spelling, the final letter is doubled before adding the ending. There are 5 vowels in English: A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. The adjective big has a consonant, vowel, consonant spelling. My house is bigger than Ali's house. Fatima's house is the biggest. For one-syllable adjectives ending with the letter E, we remove the letter E and add the endings er or est. For example, the elephant is larger than the cat. The whale is the largest animal. For two-syllable adjectives ending in the letter Y, we remove the letter Y and add I before the ending er or est. For example, Jason is happier than Sarah. Jasmine is the happiest. For adjectives with 2 syllables, there are 2 ways we can form the comparative or superlative. So as we can see from the example, when forming the comparative, we can add er or we can insert more before the adjective. So gentle becomes gentler or more gentle. When forming the superlative, we can add est to the end or insert most before the adjective. So gentle becomes gentlest and most gentle. For example, cats are gentler than dogs. Cats are more gentle than dogs. Cats are the gentlest animals. Cats are the most gentle animals. Again, just to remind you that if you're unsure of which form to use, the safer option is just to add more or most before the adjective. For adjectives with 3 or more syllables, we can form the comparative by inserting more before the adjective, for example, more expensive. When forming the superlative, we add most before the adjective. Most expensive. For example, my laptop is more expensive than my phone. My house is the most expensive thing I've bought. Lastly, there are some irregular forms which don't follow the rules. For example, good, better, best. I am a better dancer than Sam. Sanya is the best at cooking.